1-2. On the ground, tap to first. Barehand back, coming home. Save! Mastrobuoni scores. Cole Young will eat for free in Seattle tonight.
Live from Fox 13, Extra Innings starts now.
And what a way to make a Major League debut. The 21-year-old Cole Young, after securing his first Major League hit in the 9th inning, getting a game-winning RBI in the 11th inning as the M's win it 5-4 as we are live at T-Mobile Park. Fox 13 Extra Innings. Aaron Levine alongside former Mariner Bucky Jacobsen. Bucky, this was a game that essentially saw everything, but it was, in the end, what we wanted to see the most, and that was a Mariners win.
Yeah, Mariners win, especially after the last couple games that they've had, was exactly what we were looking for. I wasn't super confident the way that they've played in extra innings the last couple nights, but they ended up pulling this one out, and you're right, that's all that matters.
Third time's the charm when it comes to extra innings. How badly did this team need this win, given the fact that they had lost 6 of their last 8 games, the fact that they had also lost in extra innings in very similar fashions the last couple of nights?
Well, I don't feel crazy. I don't get too terribly emotional after a win or a loss when you're in May, even now, creeping on the beginning of June, but you just start putting stretches together where they were winning a bunch of series and now they've lost a few series in a row. You wanted to win one, especially when you've had a couple that feel a little bit more hurtful than the other ones. When you end up having a lead like last night and Andres Munoz, who's been electric all year, ends up giving it up, and then you blow up in the extra innings the way that they have. It was rough. I'm glad that they got this W.
How about the fact that the Mariners were able to do it tonight with the depleted bullpen? Matt Brash unable to go, Andres Munoz unable to go also because they had both pitched the last couple of nights.
It's good. It's big. I mean, I think that, there's a lot of things we've relied on with this pitching staff over the last couple of years, and unfortunately they haven't really pitched to their potential for the majority of this year. Now, I think that they will. I think that if this team is going to go on to win as many games as I think they can, it's going to be because of their pitching staff. The pitching staff is going to have to be the entire thing. It's not just your starters. It's your guys coming in out of the bullpen, and even at times like tonight where Snyder's going to have to bounce back after a bad outing last time.
Mariners popping back into first place in the American League West, a half a game ahead of the Houston Astros, who lost earlier today. Let's take a look at the highlights from today's game, and there were a whole lot of them. I don't even know what we have in these highlights at this point because there were so many things happening. Matt Wallner, the 2-run home run to start the scoring off in this one, giving the Twins a 2-0 lead. Byron Buxton then with an RBI single. Bryce Miller, I mean, we forgot about him. 71 pitches, 4 innings, coming off of the IL. What did you see from him today?
I mean, he looked all right. I mean, the velocity was back up with his fastball. A couple of the other pitches didn't quite look the same, but he was going after guys, attacking guys. He's the type of guy that has to go out there and be the predator more often than not. If he goes out and has to nibble because his arm isn't feeling good, he's going to get himself into trouble. But luckily, the bats picked him up, even though he fell behind it a little bit early in the game.
And you just saw it. How about Cal Raleigh? 22nd home run of the season. That leads Major League Baseball, tied with Shohei Ohtani with 22.
I mean, the guy's unbelievable. He's it's weird to say, but it feels like he's kind of coming into his own with the way that he's swinging it, and a couple other guys chipped in tonight, too. It's fun to see the dumper do work.
And, of course, J.P. Crawford with his 5th home run of the season. That was a big one, putting the Mariners on top 4-3. It looked like they were going into another save situation, a blown save, unfortunately, in the 9th inning with that overthrow at first base.
Yeah, the ongoing joke in the clubhouse is you call the pitchers non-athletes, and when they make a throw like that one, it ends up kind of coming true. Unfortunately, lost that lead, but, even as bad as it felt with the last few extra inning wins today, they got off the schneid tonight.
And how about Julio Rodriguez coming up with this huge punch-out at home plate in extra innings?
Yeah, big throw. I mean, they were hesitating a little bit there because of the out situation, and yet the third base coach still sent him, and Julio threw a strike. No bounces or nothing, and that was a big one to save the game.
And then you see the game winner. I love the fact that Mastrobuoni was a pinch runner from third base, scoring the game-winning run on the Cole Young RBI to win it for the M's.
I feel so good for that young kid to get up there, gets his first knock out of the way earlier, and then comes up with the game on the line and the winning run right there. You're looking for a sac play, takes a couple good hacks, and then battles with 2, puts the ball in play, and Miles Mastrobuoni beats that where I don't think Garver probably would have.
I mentioned a second ago that this was a game that saw essentially everything. It started with a 10-minute fire alarm play at some point of this game. A player ejection from the on-deck circle. Carlos Correa getting tossed for arguing balls and strikes from the on-deck circle, and then manager Rocco Baldelli of the Twins also getting tossed in this one.
Yeah, we want to see everything, right? come to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see.
We saw Cal Raleigh's 22nd home run of the season. J.P. Crawford in that highlight, shattering part of the LED screen in right field. They're going to need to repair that one, too.
Yeah, I saw a buddy had texted me saying, oh, I think my TV pixels just went out. No, it was J.P. put the pixels out in the scoreboard.
And, of course, you also saw Julio Rodriguez, the punch-out Cal Raleigh at home plate, and also Cole Young, the game-winning RBI. Let's take a look at the standings in the American League West. As I mentioned before, the Mariners a half game up on the Astros, who lost earlier today, and 4 games ahead of the Texas Rangers as we now move into the month of June.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a whole heck of a lot of scoreboarding at this time of the year, but you get off to a good start. You find yourself in first place. You want to maintain that, and they've kind of slipped a little bit, and Astros are coming after them. This isn't going to go away anytime soon. I mean, we're going to be watching this race for the rest of the season.
And going back to Cal Raleigh, the only catcher in Major League history with 20 or more home runs by the end of May. He finishes the month of May with 22 home runs. It's just incredible. Cal has 20 home runs in 4 of his first 5 seasons. The only other catchers to do this in Major League history, Roy Campanella and Mike Piazza.
He's really, like I said, coming into his own. He's always had the power stroke, but he struck out and didn't put the ball in play as much as he would have liked. And you put the ball in play with the power that he has, a couple more balls are going to jump out of the yard. I mean, it's at this point, you know, we're talking about him in the MVP race if Aaron Judge was human.
Well, and Aaron Judge also had 2 home runs earlier today, so he now has 21 for the season. Shohei Ohtani and Cal Raleigh both with 22, leading Major League Baseball. We talked about this earlier this week. I'm cluing you in right now on this one. At DraftKings earlier this week, the race for American League MVP, if you put $10 on Aaron Judge and Aaron Judge wins, you would win 33 cents. But if you put $10 on Cal Raleigh, you would win $900 because he is 90-1 right now, or at least earlier this week, to win American League MVP.
I'm going to head to a casino right after this. Put some ducats down on that. I mean, ultimately, I think Cal Raleigh's probably the guy that is definitely second place at this point in time, and Aaron Judge would have to get hurt or really fall off a cliff. But I'm not going to wish for injury, but at the same time, I just want Cal to keep doing what he's doing.
No question about that. Again, this was a Mariners team that had allowed 13 extra innings runs the last couple of nights. According to Marine Laird broadcast, only 2 other teams in the league had allowed more extra innings runs total the entire season. So this was a big win for the Mariners when they went into that situation. Again, having given up 7 runs 2 nights ago in the 10th inning, 6 runs last night in the 10th inning. And how big was that double play early on in the 10th inning? Because essentially they had 2 runners on with no outs.
Yeah. I mean, to get out, Buxton, who's been hot since he came back from the concussion, to get him to strike out was big, kept you in that situation, and then ball hit to the vacuum that is Ben Williamson over there, and he bobbles it a little bit, stuck with it. That's what you teach the kids to do, and they end up twisting that one up. That was nice.
Well, the Mariners now above 500 here at home this season, 15-14 at T-Mobile Park. We're going to have much more here on our Fox 13 Extra Innings special, including reaction from Mariners manager Dan Wilson. That's coming up here on Fox 13. You saw it, the Mariners winning this one 5-4 to get back in the win column. And, of course, Cal Raleigh staying hot today with his 22nd home run of the year. T-Mobile Park on Fox 13 Extra Innings following a 5-4 Mariners win over the Minnesota Twins. Cole Young with the game-winning RBI in the 11th inning. A big moment for the 21-year-old, which we will talk about in just a bit. But speaking of 21, how about number 22? 22 home runs this season for Cal Raleigh. It has been an incredible not only month of April, but also May as well, finishing the month of May with more than 10 home runs, too.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that he has power, and obviously he's power. He usually has been a guy that's really dangerous from the right or from the left side, and not so much from the right side. He's shored some things up from the right side, shortened his swing up a little bit. He just put the ball in play a little bit more. To be able to get up there and get on top of that fastball is pretty ridiculous, and for him to do that's impressive.
Let's go to the podium right now. Mariners starting pitcher Bryce Miller addressing the media following his first start coming back from the IL.
That's really the main thing I got to do. It's tougher on cool nights, and especially just standing on the mound for 15 minutes. But yeah, it just kind of feels like it just tightens up whenever it cools off. So just got to make sure I'm aware and trainers are aware and have heat packs and whatever I need to stay hot.
Were you leaning on the curveball a little bit more than you have this season today? And if so, why did that feel like a good pitch to go to today?
Yeah, I just think I think I was 0 for 1 or 0 for 2 with the sweeper. Kind of pulled those. The gyro slider was kind of inconsistent, and the curveball kind of is the only breaking pitch that I have that I just rip like a fastball. And it's performed well, good swing and miss, and it wasn't, in pregame we weren't like we're going to throw a lot of curveballs today, but it just kind of how it played out. And I think every start's different, and today the curveball felt good. I think there's maybe 2 in the third or fourth that maybe the third, I don't know, that I kind of leaked arm side, but every other one was, really competitive. So
those other pitches seem to be maybe a little bit more feel kind of pitches, so the curveball is something that is easier to throw maybe when you've been off the mound for 2 weeks like you have.
Yeah, for sure. You just, the other stuff, especially the sweeper, it's a lot of target and, the big movement, whereas the curveball is just throw it down the middle and let it do its thing. And that's kind of what I was telling one of the trainers, after I finished, was it's been 18 days or whatever since I was in game, and had that one like live, I guess, in Houston. And so overall, besides the leadoff walk to Correa, I thought command was pretty solid. Besides a couple pitches here and there, I think I was happy with where the command was, especially given that I haven't been in game in half a month. So,
Bryce, have you ever had like a rain delay or something?
Yeah, and the line on Bryce Miller: 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. He allowed 5 hits, 2 strikeouts on 71 pitches. It was more of a rehab start, so to speak. I mean, he didn't give him the rehab start that most pitchers would coming off of an injured list, so he was on a pitch count tonight.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be on a little bit of pitch count for the next couple starts, I would think, just trying to get him back in there. I mean, when you have any sort of tenderness or pain in your elbow, that's something that you don't want to mess around with. I think they shot it with a cortisone shot, and hopefully that masked the pain enough to where he can come back. And his fastball looked good, but it looked like maybe there was a little bit of rust he was knocking off. For the most part, you'll be okay if he gives up 3 runs in a start, even though I think he expects better.
Any concern? He's allowed 14 earned runs in his last 13 innings pitched.
Not too much. I was a little bit concerned before he went on the IL, or before he ended up getting that shot that I'm talking about, just simply because he didn't look like himself. He didn't look like he was capable of letting that fastball eat. And he's, like I said, he's the type of guy that has to go out there and attack guys. If he doesn't do that and he tries nibbling, that just doesn't fit into what his repertoire suggests.
Well, a couple of extra notes on Cal Raleigh, who we were talking about before. Bryce Miller took the podium there. This is the first 12 home run month by a Mariners player since Nelson Cruz did it back in August of 2015. So it's been close to 10 years since a Mariners player hit 12 home runs in a single month. He's also the first M's player with 10 or more home runs in consecutive months since Alex Rodriguez did so back in 1999.
If he can stay on this pace, that'd be nice, right? We're looking at 50-plus homers.
This pace is 62 home runs.
Well, I'm fine with that, too. I mean, 40 was what I was thinking he was capable of this year. I talked to him a little bit in spring training off the air, and he said, 40 sounds fun. 40 sounds good. If he wants to go ahead and get 60, I'm good with that, too.
No doubt about that. Again, on pace right now for 62 home runs. That would be something if he can stay on this incredibly torrid pace. We're going to have reaction from Mariners manager Dan Wilson following a 5-4 M's win in 11 innings over the Minnesota Twins here on Fox 13 Extra Innings. Coming up next. Live at T-Mobile Park, Aaron Levine with former Mariner Bucky Jacobsen following a 5-4 M's win over the Minnesota Twins. It is the 21-year-old who made his debut today, Cole Young, addressing the media live here at T-Mobile Park.
I'm just glad I put them on play and good things happen.
Do you know the last major league player to have a walk-off in their debut was Samad Taylor?
Really? Oh my gosh. I've watched that. That's crazy. That's so funny. He was the last one? That's funny.
What can you try and describe what the last 24 hours have been like from being cold last night to this moment now?
I mean, last night was so unexpected, especially like mid-game. Because our manager came up to me, I think after the 3rd inning, and he was like, "You're going to Seattle tomorrow," and I had him repeat it. I'm like, "What?" because I couldn't believe it. And then he told me. And so last night I didn't sleep at all. I was just thinking about, what would happen today. And yeah, that was a crazy game. I still haven't wrapped my head around the game. But it's been an unreal 24 hours.
Can you kind of walk us through that last at bat, what you're trying to accomplish there with winning run 90 feet away and going through everything?
Yeah, with runner on third, 1 out, I'm trying to drive the ball to the outfield so he can tag. I was trying to do that first 2 pitches, and then got the 2 strikes, so I was just battling, trying to put the ball in play. And yeah, luckily I hit it soft enough where they couldn't make it out, so that was awesome.
Well, did you get more comfortable as the game went on? Because in the first pitch of the game you were swinging, but you get the walk and then the single late, and then obviously the walk-off. Were you able to kind of settle in as the game went on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say the first couple innings, a little nervous for sure. But after the first at bat, I kind of realized, okay, it's the same game. It's the same as AAA, just a lot more people here. And then after I got my first hit, that's when I started to feel comfortable. And yeah, the last at bat, I just kind of felt like I was back in Tacoma, just with my approach and everything. So I felt good after that.
And what was it like to just share the infield with Ben again?
The youngest Mariners player to make his Major League Baseball debut since Julio Rodriguez, the 21-year-old Cole Young, and he made quite a difference in his debut today.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to finally realize that type of a dream. I can't imagine doing it at 21 years old. But to get up here and all of a sudden be able to see this type of a stadium and how many people show up, and got a nice standing ovation for his first AB, gets that knock out of the way, and then gets to come up with a game on the line.
Yeah, he was hitting .366 in the month of May for the Tacoma Rainiers. And how about being pulled from the game last night and being told you're going to Seattle tomorrow?
Yeah, he says he wasn't expecting it, and that's good. Just keep your head down and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I would have to think when you're hitting nearly 400, and one of the hottest hitters in minor league baseball, that you're maybe thinking, I wonder if maybe I'll get a call here soon. But middle of the game, we probably thought, I got 9 innings today, and it said it was 3.
Well, the future is here in Seattle between Ben Williamson and Cole Young in this Mariners infield. Here's what Mariners manager Dan Wilson had to say following a 1-run win in extra innings here at T-Mobile Park.
Huge. That's a huge bounce back, and he was disappointed after the other night, and to come back in today, facing us like almost the exact same situation, and having a completely different result. That's pretty impressive, mental capacity right there. And it wasn't easy. He had to fight through a lot of situations, but he delivered big.
And we apologize that Dan Wilson has been mostly preempted by the Cole Young live interview in the clubhouse following a 5-4 Mariners 11-inning win over the Minnesota Twins. We will wrap things up here on Fox 13 Extra Innings, live from T-Mobile Park after this. Back here live at T-Mobile Park following a 5-4 Mariners win over the Minnesota Twins. Bucky, you're probably the king of reminding all of us that it is a long season, and it is just one win out of 162 games. But what can a win like today do for a team, especially one that had been 2-8 in their last 10 games here at home, and one that had lost in extra innings pretty poorly the last couple nights?
Well, I mean, it's big. I mean, I don't know for sure if I consider any win bigger than the other, but there's an emotional part of every win and loss, and the losses in the extra innings the last couple nights, those hurt, especially when you feel like you had the game in hand. You're bringing Andres Munoz in, and he hadn't given up a run all year, and what we saw what happened last night. So it's nice to have a rebound. They didn't play real well on their last homestand, and then went out on the road and started off the series sweep in San Diego. So the ebbs and flows of a season can hinge on one game. I think they want to put a good homestand together. I think that the beginning of this last 10-day stretch that you're talking about when it comes to the offense, I think that more often than not, the offense was cooling off a little bit. Usually that's fine with this pitching staff, but unfortunately this pitching staff's been giving up a few more runs than normal, and that turns into a bad win-loss record at home.
My favorite fact, the Mariners 26-1 this season when they have a lead going into the 9th inning, or a lead after the 8th inning. They were 25-0 going into last night's game. They suffered their first loss in that regard, but they get the win today despite blowing the save in the 9th inning today.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember watching a bunch of lights-out closers, and nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go out there and lock it down every single time. I don't know if I felt more confident than I did with Andres Munoz with a 3-run lead after they tacked onto that with just being 1 at one point. But he goes out there, unfortunately, gives up a long ball, and next thing you know, the wheels kind of came off. And so it's nice. I can't wait for him to get back out on the mound and just kind of reclaim what it is that he knows he can do.
It was certainly the most unlikely blown save scenario last night for Andres Munoz. He did blow the save. We will hopefully have him back out here, maybe in a save situation tomorrow, as the Mariners have a chance to win the series against the Twins.
Yeah, and ultimately, that's what it boils down to. You go in, or somebody comes into your yard, you want to win the series. You just want to take 2 of 3 from them, or 3 out of 4 if it's a longer series. They've been doing that for the most part this year, and unfortunately, they're kind of on a little bit of a streak where they're starting to lose some. They want to get back on track. Tomorrow's a big day for them just to say, hey, we're going to right the ship and win this series.
Yeah, Luis Castillo on the mound before a day off, and then the Baltimore Orioles coming to town, a very underachieving Orioles team so far this season. What kind of opportunity is that for the M's as they close out this homestand next week?
Well, yeah, the Orioles, I was thinking was a team that was possibly a World Series contender, and they have not played anything like that so far. Now, they have talent. If you think you're going to throw your jock on the field and just they're going to roll over and you're going to win, you're going to be in trouble. So they better show up ready to play. But first things first, take care of business tomorrow, win this series, enjoy your day off, and then take care of business to finish the homestand.
Well, first they're going to enjoy the win tonight. Short turnaround for tomorrow's day game here at T-Mobile Park. We're going to have much more coverage tonight on Fox 13 News at 10 o'clock. What a game for the 21-year-old making his major league debut, Cole Young. For Bucky Jacobsen, I'm Aaron Levine. Have a great night, everyone.